Welcome. In the previous video, I have introduced you time varying magnetic field, and we have seen what is Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. In this video also, we will be continuing discussion on time varying field. We have already seen that time varying fields are produced by time varying current. So unlike in static field, in time varying field the electric and magnetic field will be interdependent. So this interdependency of electric and magnetic field has led to a need of certain set of mathematical equations when it comes to solving practical problems involving time varying field. So the equations describing relationship between time varying electric and magnetic field can be called as Maxwell's equations. So this is basically because it was Maxwell who has done set of experiments, random experiments, to find out certain mathematical relationship between these time varying magnetic and electric fields. So we will not call it as any law or theorem, we will be specific in calling them as equations itself, because he basically equate something, that is your LHS, with some other thing which will be on RHS, and this equation will give us a very good idea about how these interdependency of electric and magnetic fields are established. So there are set of 4 expressions which will give us these relations. So Maxwell has given us 4 mathematical equations establishing this relation. So these equations are basically derived from, he didn't find anything new after all, he just helped us in understanding this interdependency by deriving mathematical expressions from Gauss's law in electric field and magnetic field, Faraday's law which we have explained in the previous video, and Ampere circuital law which we have studied for steady magnetic field. So he will be using Gauss law, Faraday's law and Ampere circuital law to give us these expressions. So first let us look into how he has derived an equation which will help us in many ways from Gauss's law for electric field. So we already know that according to this Gauss law, the total flux out of a closed surface is equal to the net charge within the surface. This is well known to us. We have discussed this many times, right? So we usually write it as psi is equal to q. Yeah, and we also know that since the surface is enclosed one, we can write this q as surface integral d dot ds. This we can write it as surface integral d dot ds, right, where d vector is flux density, d vector is flux density. Okay. Now, if the charge involved or the charge enclosed by the surface is a volume charge, then Q, how we write Q? If the charge here, Q is the total charge enclosed by this particular surface. and we assume that this surface is enclosing a volume charge. Then Q, from volume charge distribution, we know that Q is volume integral rho v dv, where rho v is volume charge density. This is also well known, right? So Q can be written like this if the charge is volume charge enclosed by the surface. Now just relating these two equations, what we have surface integral, okay, just by relating these two, we have surface integral d dot ds is equal to volume integral rho v dv, right? So this is nothing but Maxwell's equation from Gauss's law in integral form. For better understanding, we can state this equation as well. So we say that this equation states that total flux leaving out of a closed surface is equal to total charge enclosed by a finite volume, right? Because surface integral d dot ds gives me the total flux leaving out of the closed surface. So this will be equal to the total charge enclosed by this volume. So psi is equal to q, but I am expressing it in a different form or in integral form. So this gives me first Maxwell's equation, which is derived from electric field. So this is in integral form. So it is necessary for us to understand how the same equation can be represented in differential form or point form. So this will give me one more variant of Maxwell's equation, okay, which is derived from Gauss's law for electric field. So I hope this is very clear. This is how Maxwell given us interdependency in integral form. Now the same equation can be written in point form. So let us see how to find point form. For that, I am going to apply something which we have already studied. Okay, nothing new here. I am going to apply divergence theorem to the LHS of this equation. So what does divergence theorem say? Surface integral d dot ds, that is surface integral of any vector, is same as volume integral of divergence of that vector. So this is what divergence theorem says. We have already studied this, right? So if I apply this to the LHS, the above equation becomes volume integral del dot d, right, del dot d dv, del dot d dv will be equal to volume integral rho v dv. Now if I assume that I am integrating this over the same volume, I can just neglect this integral because both the integrands will be evaluated for the same volume. So I can write this as del dot d is equal to rho. So this is Maxwell's equation from Gauss's law in point form or differential form. So see here we got this equation. Okay, let me call it as equation number 2 or second equation of Maxwell equation, and here we have the first. So we have not derived something very new or very difficult to understand. We have just used existing ideas, theorems, laws, right, to establish this relationship. So Maxwell helped us to establish this relationship. That's why we call these equations as Maxwell's equations. So now our duty is to remember these relations and remember it in the right way. We have to remember that this relation has been derived from Gauss's law for electric field. So I have one set of equations here. One is in integral form, the other one is in differential form. So the differential form equation directly tells you that the divergence of electric flux density is equal to volume charge density. So next we have to see Maxwell's equation from Gauss's law for magnetic field. For this, to understand Maxwell's equation from Gauss's law for magnetic field, we should remember that magnetic flux lines always exist in form of a closed loop. So when I was introducing you magnetic field, I hope you remember that we discussed about magnetic field line. So if you have a magnet, right, and this is north pole and this is south pole, we say that magnetic field lines originate from north and on south. Okay, this was the initial discussion, and later we found that these magnetic field lines are continuing, right? So it's a loop. It's a loop. Now to understand it better, now if I close this, okay, by a surface, closed surface, okay, just imagine that this is a closed surface closing. Okay, what you can infer from this? You can infer that, see, here at this particular area or region, the magnetic flux lines is entering the closed surface, and somewhere here it is leaving the closed surface, right? This is entering here, this is leaving here. So this will be true for any number of flux lines, right? Any number of flux lines. I have another magnet here or another flux line here, even that flux line will go like this, it will be a loop. So again, that particular magnetic field line or flux line will enter the surface and leave the surface. So what I am trying to make you understand here is, for a closed surface, the number of magnetic field lines entering will be equal to the number of magnetic flux lines leaving the surface. I hope that is very clear, right? So one ender here, obviously that has to leave here because it's a continuous loop. So one ender, because I am talking in terms of this closed surface. So you are standing here and you see that the field line is entering. Okay, then you run here, you can see that the same field line is going out. Or you ask some of your friend to stand here and check whether that field line is going out. Obviously it will go out. So any number of field lines entering this surface is going to leave this surface. This means no magnetic flux can independently reside inside this closed surface. That is the idea. Number of flux lines entering is equal to number of flux lines leaving. This directly tells you that there cannot be any flux lines independently residing inside this closed surface. So this is how mathematically we express Gauss's law in magnetic field. So Gauss's law in magnetic field can be mathematically written as closed surface integral B dot ds is equal to 0, because it cannot enclose any independent B vector, because it's coming and leaving, it's coming and leaving. This process is continuously going on. Is that fine? Now some notice student may ask me or ask anybody for that matter, what if this closed surface is so big that it can enclose all these magnetic field lines? Even then the net effect will be 0, because you will have the entire effect of north and south within that closed surface. So the net magnetic moment will be 0, even then this equation will be correct. So I hope this is very clear. So this is how we represent Gauss's law in magnetic field, that is closed surface integral B dot ds equal to 0. This is because there is no magnetic flux which can reside independently in a closed surface. Any flux line entering, okay, should leave the surface. That's it. So this itself, okay, is Maxwell's equation from Gauss's law for magnetic field in integral form. And to understand it better, I can state that, or I can write in English that the surface integral of magnetic flux density over a closed surface is always equal to 0. I repeat, I state this mathematical equation as the surface integral of magnetic flux density, that is B vector, over a closed surface is always equal to 0. So this gives me the next variation of Maxwell's equation. I can continue numbering, okay? I can continue numbering so that you can keep it, okay? For exam point of view, you can keep these equations from serial number 1 to serial number, some serial number, okay? So that you can easily understand them and categorize them. That's why I'm just, okay, this number, the equation number doesn't matter. So this is in integral form. Now what next? I would like to obtain the same equation in point form or differential form. So for that, again I will be taking the help of divergence theorem. Okay, I will be taking help of the divergence theorem. So according to divergence theorem, this above equation, that is surface integral B dot ds, becomes volume integral divergence of B over the volume, right? So del dot B dV. So this will be equal to 0. So I just replaced the LHS by this, by applying divergence theorem. So this says that volume integral del dot B dV is equal to 0. Now what does this convey to you? We know that there is a closed surface here. So this closed surface will obviously enclose some volume, right? The volume enclosed by this surface cannot be 0. That means whichever the variable volume which we are talking about here, right? This particular volume cannot be 0. So if this has to be true, that is del dot B dV equal to 0 over the volume has to be true, then del dot B, the integrand should be 0. So that is del dot B should be 0. There is no other way. If this is true, this has to be true. If this has to be true, that is if the surface integral B dot ds equal to 0 is true, which is obviously true, which we defined, then if I apply divergence theorem, I am going to get this, so this also should be true. Now if this has to be true, dV cannot be 0, so del dot B has to be 0. So this is also true. So Maxwell tells us that this is the differential form or point form of Maxwell's equation from Gauss's law for magnetic field. So this is the next relation or next equation which we have to remember, keep in our mind. So far we have seen 4 Maxwell equations. The first 2 equation was derived from Gauss's law in electric field, but this Gauss's law is derived from magnetic field. Okay, the first equation says that surface integral d dot ds is volume integral rho v dv in integral form, and in point form it says del dot d is equal to rho v. Okay, now Maxwell's equation from Gauss's law for magnetic field says that surface integral B dot ds equal to 0 in integral form, and in point form I have the same equation as divergence of B vector is equal to 0, that is del dot B equal to 0. So in this video we have seen 2 Maxwell's equation as such with 2 more variations. Okay, so total 4 equations you have to remember. Getting? Okay, so that's all for this video. We will see Maxwell's equation from Faraday's law and Maxwell's equation from Ampere's circular law in coming videos. Thank you for watching.